So this is episode number 3 of the Transit Connect project. In this episode, I'm going to be going over fitting the ME221, which is the aftermarket ECU, going through it in as much detail as I can, and yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoy.
So what do you get when you order the ME221? Right, first thing you get in the box is the ME221 itself. This is in an anodized silver case. It's very, very small, and it's actually a splash resistant case, but it is advised this is mounted inside the cabin and not under the bonnet or anywhere where it can really get damp. You also get the Mighty software, which comes on a USB key. It's so easy to load. I mean, I'm no computer buff, and I had it up and running within about 10 minutes, if that. You will also need a USB converter, because the ME221 uses a RS232 cable to connect to it. So you can get these cables off the internet, but don't buy like a cheap one. Try and stick to the branded ones, because they work the best. And you also get a predetermined wiring loom, which is awesome. So you get literally the 2 plugs that plug straight into the side of the ECU. Then you follow the cable through, you get a separate wire run, which is for the crank sensor, which has a Ford style plug on it, so it will plug straight onto any Ford crank sensor. And then once you've tucked that through your firewall, you've got the Ford core pack plug, which is your standard Ford, oval type plug, like that comes on Z-Techs and stuff like that. And the ECU will run them direct. There's no need for external igniters or anything like that, which is good. You get a throttle position plug, which again is a Ford type, so it will plug onto most Ford TPS switches. You get this is the air temp sensor, and then you also get the coolant temp sensor plug already wired up, ready to go. And then these 4 are the 4 injectors. So other than that, once you've literally fed that through the firewall of your car, plug that onto your engine, you plug that into the ECU, obviously connect your crank sensor as well. Then all you've got left to do is wire up this, which is the only wires that actually need to be hardwired in. You've got 3 reds that you literally connect together, and these go to an ignition live. One does the core pack, one does the injectors, and can't remember what the other one goes to. Oh, one goes to the ECU, obviously. And then you've got the blacks that you connect together, and they've got to go to a ground. They don't go direct to the battery. Make sure you find a good ground. They've got to be grounded together. Then you've literally got the brown wire, which is the rev counter output. So if you're not running a rev counter, you can just take this into the loom. And then you've got the blue and black wire, which is the fuel pump feed. This can't, obviously, you can't wire this directly up to a fuel pump, because it will just melt. This is just a trigger for a fuel pump relay. It's really simple to do, but as it's going in the Connect, I'm literally just going to get a pin out off the internet, find the fuel pump trigger for the standard ECU, and I'm going to wire that to this, so I can keep all the the standard hardware that Ford design, which works perfectly fine for a fuel pump. If you're putting this like a Z-Tech in a Mark II or a Mark III Fiesta that hasn't got this as standard, you can just buy like a 30 amp relay off the internet, wire it up. It's pretty simple. Your standard 4-pin relay, really. Other than that, that's it. It's as simple as it is to wire this up to a Z-Tech. So it makes fitting a Z-Tech to any other car, like once it's in, most people are quite daunted by the wiring side of Z-Techs and stuff. So this really does simplify it, and it makes it a lot easier. And especially with the base map, it should fire straight up on the standard Z-Tech injectors. So.
Okay, so I stripped the glove box out of the van. I took the under tray little kick panel down, and I dropped the fuse box down as well, because I'm going to need that in a minute. And then all I did was pull the carpet back and just drilled a whole sort of hole through the bulkhead. Obviously I made sure there was nothing on the other side of it, like brake lines and stuff like that. The reason it's all blue is because I don't like leaving the metal bare. So once I drilled the hole, I just touched up the edges with the closest touch-up stick I could find, which was bright blue. And if I show you around here, I don't know how well you can see it, but the hole is literally just down there, where it comes through the firewall. So yeah, all I've done on the loom is just fitted this grommet, so I can tuck it through, pull that through, put a cable tie around there, and it'd be nice and watertight. I don't get water. So I stripped off all the cowling, and I found the trigger wire at the bottom back of the ignition barrel, and I made sure that this was live when the engine was cranking, because if you get the wrong one, like the stereo turns off when cranking and stuff like that, like the auxiliary live. So I found this one, and all I'm going to do is use this to trigger a 30 amp relay. Bit overkill for an ECU, but I know I'm going to be fitting other things in the future, so then I can also use that ignition live through the relay to power whatever I really want. So yeah, that's where I am so far, and now I've just got to put the van back together and make it look neat. So I haven't made a mount or anything like that for it yet, so all I've literally done is it's all wired in now. The fuel pump's on, it's got its ground, it's got its ignition live off the relay wired up. Haven't wired up the tachometer yet. I did want to put it in the glove box, but it's not quite long enough. So for now, I'm literally just going to tuck it back there, as it's quite small. I can hide it over there. Put the glove box back in. Done. So the ME221 is in the car, and it's all wired up in there. So it's got its live, it's got its earth. It's connected to the fuel pump triggers, stuff like that. Because I'm wiring it up on my van, I've got to leave the standard ECU in place because the clocks rely on the ECU. If you unplug the ECU, you lose all the mileage and stuff like that. So I'm going to wire this ECU up alongside the existing ECU, so that the standard ECU will be there just to, control everything in the van, but then the ME221 will control the engine. So I've wired up the crank sensor. I'm going to leave the standard coolant temp sensor or cylinder head temperature sensor in the head for the ECU. So I took my thermostat off, thermostat housing, which is a black plastic housing on this type of engine, and I looked. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I got the second-hand one off of the engine that I took out. Because normally I need to wire up another coolant temp sensor for the ECU, and there's on the Zetec head there's a lot of meat, like there's a big air gap, like big gap there, so you can just drill a hole through there normally and just put like a coolant temp sensor in there if you want to, but because my engine's in the car and someone's borrowed my right hand drill and not given it back yet, I can't, there's not enough room for me to get in here to drill a hole in the side of the head. So all I've done was I've got a second-hand thermostat housing. I don't know how well it's going to work, and I just drilled a hole in the back of the thermostat housing, tapped it, put loads of Loctite on it, and just gently screwed an aftermarket coolant temp sensor in there, because the ME221 can work with most aftermarket coolant temp sensors because you can calibrate it in the software. I did look at it, and there is quite a lot of meat there, so I drilled enough meat to run a tap through, but hopefully it will hold out and not leak. But only one way to find out, really. Okay, so another problem I just run into, like an idiot, before I put this sensor here, I forgot to check if the coil pack would fit, and it didn't. So all I done was, obviously there's like a third leg that normally comes off the bottom here and bolts to the bottom hole down there. So I've just chopped it off, so there's only 2 bolts hold the coil pack on now, and I'll be honest, I'm sure it will be absolutely fine without that third leg, but again, only one way to find out, so we'll see. So I ended up mounting the air temp sensor just in the back of the airbox. Standard, they're built into the MAF, so probably be alright there. I unscrewed the standard lambda sensor. I got rid of that, and I fitted an Innovate like inline wideband O2 controller thing. Nice and neat down there, as you can see. I went through the same grommet that the wiring loom goes through and just mounted it on the dash there. So I've now got a reference of what my fueling's doing, which is nice. Got to go do some mapping now. Hey, it's a start. So we've got the ME221 all wired up and connected on the van, and I've got myself a designated driver. This is Sam. Say hello, Sam.
Good.
Yeah. Sam's just putting together the power inverter because the cheap laptop that I use has got a crap battery and it's gone flat within about 20 minutes worth of use. But managed to do quite a good base map at the moment. It's driving really nice. So we're going to do some flat out stuff, which is great.
Get a charger set up.
Does that fit? Need that one. This is where the van stalls.
We're not special, aren't we? It's all on, mate, it's all charging.
That normally comes up with a little power sign.
I'll turn it off.
Laptop flickers. Don't think it's quite got the beams, is it?
Right.
So basically, to cut a long story short, we faffed around for what seemed forever to try and get the laptop to charge. We even got a new power inverter, but that didn't work. So I've ordered a in-car charger for my laptop, so you're just going to have to wait to the next video to see me map it. And we're probably going to go to a dyno as well. So yeah, stay tuned, hope you like, subscribe and share.